Welcome to the Deep Dive. So today we want to look past the staggering numbers of NVIDIA. I mean, what is it, a $4.6 trillion company now?
Something like that, yeah. It changes daily.
Exactly. And we're not going to analyze the chips. We're going to follow the money. We're going to break down this massive investment spree they're on. It's really a strategic play to lock in the entire AI ecosystem.
That's exactly right. I mean, when a company gets this dominant, its investment arm basically becomes market policy.
Yeah.
And the scale is just, it's wild.
How wild were we talking?
Well, think about this. 67 venture deals in 2025 alone. That's already more than all of 2024.
Wow.
And that doesn't even count the 30 or so deals from NVentures, which is their formal investment fund. They're not just looking for a return, they're backing, as they say, game changers and market makers to create a future that runs entirely on their hardware.
Okay, so let's get into that. The billion-dollar club. This is where you can really see that lock-in strategy at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where does this idea of sort of circular spending show up most clearly?
Anthropic. It's the perfect case study. In November of 2025, NVIDIA committed up to $10 billion.
$10 billion.
But the key detail, it wasn't just the size of the check. It was the agreement that came with the money.
The strings attached.
Exactly. The circular agreement. Anthropic had to commit to spending $30 billion on Microsoft Azure and to buying future NVIDIA systems. We're talking Grace Blackwell, Vera Rubin, the next-gen stuff.
So the investment isn't just for equity. It's a guaranteed purchase order.
It's a pre-sale. It basically gives NVIDIA a say in where their partners spend their money, which cuts competitors like AMD right out of the picture.
Did we see that same kind of thing with OpenAI?
A very clear pattern. So they put $100 million into OpenAI's massive $6.6 billion round.
Right.
But the bigger story was the partnership. A plan to invest up to $100 billion over time to build out AI infrastructure.
$100 billion. I mean, that number just sounds unreal.
It is. Of course, we have to mention they did file a disclosure later saying no assurance that any investment will be completed.
A huge asterisk, for sure. But the message is pretty clear.
The intent is undeniable.
And it seems like even when they're backing rivals, the goal is the same. Make them consume more NVIDIA chips.
Look at xAI. They were in on that $6 billion round in 2024. And reports suggest that money was specifically structured to help xAI buy more NVIDIA hardware. It's all about moving product.
Okay, so they've got the model developers locked in, but these models have to run somewhere. Let's talk about the plumbing, the actual infrastructure.
Right. And for something like the Stargate project for OpenAI, you need these huge specialized data centers. So NVIDIA backs the infrastructure guys, too. A company called Crusoe got a $1.4 billion Series E.
Wow.
Another one, Nescale, got $433 million in SAFE funding. And these are the companies building the actual campuses in Texas, Wyoming, the UK, you name it.
So they're funding the construction of their own customers' workshops.
That's the game.
And it goes beyond just the core cloud stuff, right? They're spreading bets everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Into all the emerging fields. You see them backing Figure AI and robotics.
The humanoid robot company, now valued at something crazy like $39 billion.
Exactly. Then there's Wayve, a UK company doing self-learning for autonomous driving. They're even in nuclear energy with Commonwealth Fusion and healthcare with Hippocratic AI, which makes LLMs for things like patient intake.
But the outcomes aren't always a simple win, are they? The inflection story is really interesting.
That was a very unusual one.
NVIDIA put $1.3 billion into them in June 2023. Less than a year later, what happened?
Microsoft basically hired away the founders and key staff and paid $620 million for a license to their tech.
So inflection was just left as a shell.
Pretty much.
No.
Which really makes you wonder, was the goal ever to build a standalone company, or was it just to get that talent and tech into the broader ecosystem?
So let's bring it all together. What does this all mean for you, the person trying to make sense of this AI explosion?
It means NVIDIA's venture strategy isn't about finding the next 10-bagger. It's about control. It's about locking in consumption from the very top of the value chain with model developers like Mistral and Cohere.
Right.
All the way down to the infrastructure builders and the creative tools like Runway. They all have to run on NVIDIA GPUs. They're funding their own customer base to cement their platform.
It's a closed loop where every investment check is just a disguised sales contract. The sheer diversity of these investments, it really signals a future where every single industry is trying to become an AI company. And here's a final thought for you to chew on. NVIDIA doesn't just plan to supply the fuel for that transition. They plan on building the engine, owning the highway, and writing the map.